Wyvern Druid just ascended to the next level. Infinite energy shield with a little trick. Massive damage with the flame breath or the oil barrage, absolutely dominating bosses. I'm a couple hours in and we're already sitting at mapping with one of the smoothest campaign playthroughs I've ever had. Where does now our damage come from for smooth map progression? For this, we have 4 skills. First, we get the Rend, the Wyvern's basic attack, that if you consume a power charge, gets lightning infused with an amazing area of effect, which we increase even further. How do we get those power charges while mapping? With pounds leaping forward into Devour. This looks following. Pounds in, Devour, boom, lightning enchanted. And then you can follow up with a oil barrage to clear the whole screen, which is our next skill that we use for rears and giant mob packs. For example, like the Abyss or breaches. Open up a breach, position yourself, and then blah, just vomit them all down. This leads to a quite smooth mapping loop. Jump forward, eat that corpse, oil barrage everything down, then pounds again, eat another corpse, pounds into barrage for the elite, because it's just easier, swipe, eat the corpse, jump, rend, pounds, pull everything, barrage everything on screen or off screen, on we go, pounds, eat. I think you get the drift. Oh, there's the next elite. Let's have it down, and then as we eat another corpse, we're just undying. Our energy shield continuously replenishes like crazy. For bosses, the loop is different. We pounds in, then we auto attack until we get them primed for stun them, and follow up with the oil barrage, or we fly in the sky for the fire breath. Both skills are amazing to take bosses out. I mostly prefer the oil barrage, simply because I can use it on range and I'm not so vulnerable as when I'm in the sky with the flame breath. There's another big problem with the flame breath and actually using the mouse, and that's about how you actually travel around with it. We'll get to that. Now, how are we having our energy shield consistently recharged to keep us alive like this? And that's because of our Devour. Devour says regenerate 311 life per enemy or corpse consumed over 1 second. If you pair this together with a passive Zealous Oath, access life recovery from regeneration is applied to energy shield. Energy shield does not recharge. And also the node Thickened Arteries regenerate 0.5% maximum life per second and 40% increased regeneration while stationary. While you devour a corpse, you're always stationary, which leads to thousands of energy shield per second. And this simply works perfect for your pouncing in and then eating. Even as they're hitting you, you're recharging. Very important for this to work. We'll need our pounds to deal maximum damage, and we need the Herald of Ash. Because as you jump in, you'll kill at least one guy that will then explode to spread ignite to everyone around. This guarantees us that we can devour, and also with one Rend swipe, just either stagger them all and or straight away kill them, exploding them further into more Heralds of Ash that then further ignites things, and you can keep zooming over the map. And since your Devour consistently restores your energy shield like crazy, we're actually going to be rocking Bark Skin that says when hit by an enemy, gain armor equal to 37% of energy shield lost. Right now I have 0 resistance and I sit at 67% armor, and we can just dive bomb wherever on the map, devour, survive. It's a crazy loop that, even despite lacking the defenses, just keeps you whole and healthy. Now, what kind of supports are we rocking to enable this? For pounds, we get Holy Descent. This creates concentrated ground on landing that also heals me. Therefore, at pounds in, I get healed. That heal works towards the energy shield together with the Devour very well. Then Fist of War for the ancestrally boosted, bigger area of effect and more damage to definitely kill someone. And also Momentum as we're jumping forward for 40% more damage. Lastly, we get cooldown recovery 2. This allows us currently to pounce every 3.15 seconds. Then we get our Rend with rapid attacks for instant swipes, and the stun 2 that we stagger everyone around you and get bosses really fast stunned. Elemental armament because we have a lot of elemental damage from all the things we're doing, and the swipes are getting lightning charged, so making that more efficient works very well. Plus magnified area with a 35% increased area of effect. Your swipes are truly just hitting everyone in front of you and behind you and to the side and left and right. For the Devourer, you want rapid attacks 2 as well, so you can really quick get your corpse and not be interrupted. together with Fist of War, ancestral boosting the Devour as well, as it is actually a knockback area skill that can damage too. Lastly, we still have Rage 1 from leveling due to lack of supports. That being said, there are two things that will work really well. Charge Perfusion for a potential bonus charge, but what actually works better is Bramble Slam. Supported slam skills creates hazardous brambles on ground that activate after a duration. These brambles will sprout out on landing and spread maim on hit, giving the enemies less evasion rating and slower movement, which makes me never miss a hit. Our Oil Barrage, our big laser skill, needs rapid attacks too as well, otherwise it can feel very clunky to get that channel going. Then we get the Burgeon. This gives us 40% bonus damage after 2 seconds of channeling, and often we're channeling longer. Then we're rocking Multi-Shot 2, which reduces the skill speed but gives us 2 additional projectiles. Without Multi-Shot, I would have more damage. However, the bonus projectiles we're getting that land exactly at the same spot really make it worth it to reduce the damage. Lastly, I put on Rage Forge because we're always maximum raged out, and it's just a simple 35% damage multiplier. The Flame Breath looks somewhat similar, but it's different, where the Oil Barrage goes and bomb deals instant damage and absolutely shreds bosses into pieces. I mean, we have seen it now multiple times. The Flame Breath compounds its Ignite to increase the damage over time. The Ignites are stacking on top of each other. And if you use it in Empowered after Wing Blasting the opponent, you have the bonus lightning damage and less rage consumption. In order now to deal the maximum damage, I increase the Ignite magnitude. Also, with a rapid attacks 2 preferably, you don't take that long getting into the sky. Helpful. Elemental Armament boosts pretty much everything it does, because we got that fire damage and that lightning damage. Plus then the Burgeon as well, for that 40% bonus damage. Preferable Burgeon 2. Now the problem with the Flame Breath is that with WASD you can actually zoom around. If I zoom around with my mouse clicks, it will abort it after the first 4 seconds. So no matter that I have full rage, if I don't move, it will just keep going and going and going, and it will start depleting my rage, right? If I now click the button, it instantly lands. Unless you're using a controller or WASD, I don't recommend using Flame Breath for anything but boss killing or a breach opening. Because for a breach opening, it's actually quite funny as the circle just starts and you already vomit everyone down. The final usable skill we have is our Wing Blast that we pretty much just use for stunning enemies to get those charges to then shoot with the Oil Barrage or the Flame Breath. We get rapid attacks for this and also the Impact Shockwave. It does some damage, but the skill is simply used to actually get us that stun. We would technically be best off putting on Rapid Attacks 3 because we don't care about the damage, and also Hit and Run, which makes it usable after moving 10 meters for that super skill speed, so as we then have the enemy stunned, we can instantly use it. This brings us to our Spirit skills with a Time of Need for bonus life recovery, curse removal and elemental ailments. Then there's Cannibalism for heals and compressed duration to have it more often. With the Bark Skin we talked about and Eternal Rage. I'm simply at my maximum amount of rage at any given point. I never have to actually hit to get rage. I enter the combat and I instantly have the Bestial Rage fully maxed out for 12% increased physical damage per 10 rage. Absolute Chef's Kiss, together then with the Herald of Ash, that does want to have a magnified area. Now you're going to say, but Pony, how can you survive with so few resistance? Is it really just your energy shield and the Devour trig? No. Our actual passive tree provides us a massive amount of armor applies to elemental damage, which gives us a huge chunk of damage reduction as well. With a bonus from gear, we almost don't even need resistances, but we still want to max them out. Let's throw an eye on those passives now and our 3 ascensions already, because with level 65, we blasted through, not a problem. What we're taking in the ascension is Shaman, then bonus elemental damage and exposure to everyone around you, plus 10% of damage as extra damage of a random element, which has us shock and ignite the enemies consistently. We don't freeze them, which is fantastic because we want to heavy stun them. Then I did try out the reactive growth for the bonus damage reduction, but it wasn't that useful. What we're instead using is Flask Recovery and Sacred Flow. We're not playing Charms, but that gives us 120 Spirit plus, so that we can easily use our Bark Skin, Eternal Range for 100 Spirit, Herald, and time of need together with the cannibalism and also the precision number 1. Otherwise, you couldn't afford all of this. Lastly, with the third ascension, we get bonus defense and wisdom of the Magi, gain the benefits of bonded modifiers on runes and idols. This currently provides us simple, good bonuses, like our 1 to 30 lightning damage, increasing the magnitude of shock you inflict by 30%. What? Yeah, I have 2 of those on, that's 60% more increased magnitude of shock. While normal runes give us just more maximum life and mana. However, with the 4th ascension, we're either going to swap over to the Avatar of Evolution fully, and or gonna mess around with Furious Wellspring and see how much this actually helps us to be fully raged out at any given time with a passive rage generation and the Eternal Rage. For this, we'll then scrap the Wisdom of the Magi node, because we need the Sacred Flow for the Spirit. Our normal passives have a few notables that you can't miss out on. We're going to start with increased spell damage here at the bottom, and then we gain another 5% of damage as extra damage of a random element. Together with life regeneration nodes here that also give us some damage recouped as life. We need that regeneration to have our energy shield then continuously be regenerated. We don't go over the damage here, but rather go for skill speed. Skill speed is everything in Wyvern. That leads us to the left side for the bonus heavy stun. And my next point on level 73 will actually go into Bashing Beast. If I then heavy stun enemies by pouncing in them and rending, they get intimidated, which has them deal less damage and take more damage as well. Works good against bosses too, but it keeps you just bonus alive. And on the right side, we get movement speed plus armor and energy shield. If I now get a helmet, boots, or better gloves, or even an armor with a somewhat more energy shield, we're going to catapult ourselves from 600 into the thousands without a single problem. This 26 maximum energy shield from the amulet is already 60 more energy shield, and that's the tiny 26. Below the spiral into depression, we get our Bastion of the Forest for bonus armor, and 15% of armor applies to elemental damage, and then strength intelligence. Quite the nifty node. The fastest start of energy shield recharge doesn't do anything for us because we got the Zealoth Oaths up here that we talked about earlier. Descending through the middle, we get ourselves for every 10 rage more physical damage, and after we shapeshifted, we get more stun build up. Now, shapeshifting recently means also from Wolf into Wyvern, and then from Wyvern into Wolf. That means the Bear's Roar is permanently up. Afterwards, you rush all the way through to first pick yourself up these nodes for the bonus armor, and the elemental damage is taken from armor as well, plus then 40% bonus armor. Very good. With random fire damage gained as extra damage while shapeshifted, and also even more stun buildup. Before we then mess with the Zealous Oaths and the bonus Aegis, you want to go through the middle. For the bonus movement speed and attack speed, yep, just like that, and damage, technically a minion node, but it just works too good for you. And then down here, we get some crazy stuff. First, we get more maximum rage, and that's 3, 3, and 12. Into also massive more physical damage. With then more physical damage, more skill speed, and damage penetrates elemental resistance. Lastly, increased stun buildup and attack area damage. Really good. You then have all of this knocked out. You can get the regeneration together with the Zealous Oaths to make mapping such an easy feeling. If you obviously feel like you need this earlier, then forget about these damage nodes here. And also forget about the early damage nodes, just to already have the Zealous Oaths and the regeneration knocked out. Afterwards, put as many energy shield and armor nodes in as you feel. You get tons of them around. There's even more here that we can just take. I mean, this one says defend with 120% armor while not on low energy shield, and with one single devour, you're not on low energy shield. Now I know what you're gonna say, but Pony, this is not Lightning Deadeye. You can't just kill everything off screen. Yeah, that's correct, but this is Wyvern and it's extreme fun to play. And it will kill the Arbiter. It will do the 4th Ascension. It just blasted through the campaign, and it feels just good to play. How would we now make this even stronger? How would we now take this to the next level? Well, we can always find a better talisman. Mine is already insane and crafted at level 46. This is mental damage, especially with the 4 levels to melee skills. However, I have seen talismans on trade that have another 200-300 more damage. Plus, we can look to get even more flat damages on our rings and our gloves. They're already pretty good, but there's more to come. And since we're using projectile skills, With the Oil Barrage, you can have your amulet have bonus ranks to projectile skills, and your weapon should not have 4 levels to all melee skills. It would be better if you get a perfect essence of battle for those level 2 attack skills instead. Since Oil Barrage is not a melee skill and currently does not profit from this, that will really give us meaningful more damage. Ladies and gentlemen, this was now the day 2 update, and we're going to have a day 3 as we take down tier 15 maps, the Arbiter, do the 4th Ascension. No worries, we're going to take this all the way. Have an eye on the channel and on the live streams. I'm going to link you here the live stream, how we discovered all of this today, and also the first video of the Wyvern 2. Any questions, ask in the description below. Take care and have a fantastic good day.